Hello everyone, welcome back. Jean here with CreativelyJean. All right, so as promised, we have a project using these cupcake liners. I got these on clearance at Walmart and Target. I don't know if they're not going to carry them anymore or not at Walmart. Target, I got them in their Easter. They had some for Easter. So these are really nice. They're like a heavy vellum. I'm not sure what they're made out of, but they're like a really heavy vellum or something. So I'm like, what can we do with this? And I thought, I make out of regular cupcake liners, I make rosettes. I really don't like making rosettes out of cupcake liners because they're kind of thin. I prefer doing paper, but I have tried them. I don't really like making them out of these ones. But we're going to make them out of these two, and I love them. Let me put this off to the side. I will show you how I make one out of the cupcake liners. But this is what we're going to make. They are so cute, and they're even kind of dimensional because you can kind of see they're cupped out. And they're so easy to make, way easier than the other using regular cupcake liners. So I didn't think this one would work. This flower design. I know you can get these off of Amazon. I've seen one on Amazon. We're going to do one out of this too. I did not think they would work, but they did work and they were really easy. But I'm going to show you how to make these. So if you guys have some of these laying around, or if you can get your hands on some, you know, these make the cutest little rosettes. All right. So I got a lot of, let's see, got my glue gun heating up there. Yep. I'll be using different size punches, a 1 inch, a 3/4. This one I'm not sure. I think it's like a 1/2 inch. What that one is. I don't know why some of them are not marked. I've got a whole bunch of different embellishments off to the side here. We're gonna play around with those. And what I like using for my little circles is, I'll get one out here because I have them all cut already just to save us some time so we can be making instead, is I like using this glossy cardstock from scrapbook.com. Comes in all these pretty colors, but it's a little heavier than paper. So I like using this for my little circles here. So that's what I like to use. Okay, I'm going to show you how you got to cut these because you do got to cut them down a little bit or they won't make a decent rosette. I did some practice, people, for you. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to take one. And we are going to find my scissors. I want my smaller ones, I think. Find one that'll cut. And then we're just going to, cut up. I cut in right in between 2 petals. And then all we're going to do is we're going to just cut this bottom circle apart on the first one. So I'm making, you can make, I've got like 3 different sizes going here, but depending on how you cut them. So just cut that out. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to see this bottom part anyways. Like I said, this is pretty, it's got to be like a really heavy vellum. It doesn't say anywhere on the box. Now, you don't want to glue this together because when you squeeze this down, you still have a big gap. So we're going to cut some of this away. So I figured for the large one, and we're leaving everything on this one, we want 13 petals. So I'm going to cut one. So we're going to cut 3 of them away. So we're going to get rid of 3 of them. Okay. And then all we're going to do is reconnect it here. I just want to bend that one back in. We reconnect it. I prefer using glue for this part, but we don't have time for that. I have a whole bunch of them dried over there anyways, but I don't like using the glue, the hot glue, because it's kind of thicker. But we'll just use it on this to show you. And to me, it still showed through after it dried. Okay, so there's that one. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of different ones drying over here. Let's see if this is going to be dry enough to work with. See, when the hot glue, give me one that I already have dried. And you can't really see. I'm going to try to figure out where it is that I glued them together. Okay, so right here I glued together, and you cannot see no glue here. The hot glue seems still, you can kind of see some like wet spots and wet spots. That's why I don't like to use, I use my art glitter glue or my Barely Arts glue, and then I just clipped them and let them sit. And they're dried, and we got a little crinkle in this one, but it really doesn't matter if there's a crinkle in there. But so easy to do. I take them, put them upside down, and then I just take and kind of bend them down, and then I push them together to kind of fill in that gap as much as you can, and then I just straighten that down. Okay, then I'll flip it over to see how I like it from that side. And there's a little piece that should have been cut off here that I didn't cut very good, so I'm going to cut that little piece off. Okay, and then I'm going to push that down together. And you can see how we like that. Okay, so now I got, for the big one, I'm using these 1-inch circles. I need 2 of them. And now here I'll use hot glue because, you know, you don't see it anyways, because I'm doing it on the cardboard. So I'm going to put some hot glue around. And like I said, you don't have to fill in the middle there because you're only doing the outside. So I'm just going to keep it and then put it on there. Center it the best you can. And you can go from the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. I like to go from the top because this is so thick and heavy. I like to go from the top first because I want to make sure my top is perfect. Then I'm going to flip it over. And then I will just do the same. These are so much easier than even paper rosettes because they kind of stay together on their own. And then we're just going to put that down. And then I just give it a good old press. And you have this lovely rosette. I think those are so pretty. Looks like a really pretty flower, doesn't it? Okay. So now you can do these in different sizes. So for this one, I have 3 different sizes. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to cut all the white away. So cut all the white right on off. So I'm going to go right to the bottom of the yellows, of the yellow petals. I'm going to do that. So this is what I call the medium. This was the large, and you got 13 petals. 13 petals on. I am gonna be making all these. You trust me. I had 4 packs. One was a multicolor pack, and I'm gonna be making all these up because they're just so, I can't stop making them. They're so fun. Now for the what I call the medium, and you can see the difference here. Like there's the white left on there. And if I can measure, get one of the petals on there, you can see how much we cut off. There's the white. All right, blurriness. Now, why are you starting? So you can kind of see how much we cut off there. So for this one, you need 9 petals. And I played around with this and got where it worked the best, because you want the hole, like I said, you want that hole to kind of meet. You don't want a big gap there. And then we're just going to do the same thing. And any, like I said, any glue gun will do. But like I said, I like using, when I put my petals together, I like using my regular glue. So then you have that one. Let's see. I have one of the medium. Okay, so I have one here. We'll glue that later when I know it's really, really dry. Same thing. All we do is push it down. And then I just kind of squeeze it in so it kind of meets. And I'm turning over. Again, I got a little piece. Can you see that little piece? When I was cutting, I must not have cut very... I'm sorry about my camera. I don't know what's going on. It's never doing this. I've got this little piece here that didn't get cut off right. Okay, so this one I want, the mediums, I use the 1-inch circle. So it needs yellow. So we got the 1-inch. And you can use like as big as you want, as small as you want, whatever your centers are. Okay, so just going to get that, make sure it's going to go in there. All right. I mean, you can do this one-handed all by yourself pretty much. I'll show you how, like I said, how I make my other, you know, ones, which I don't make anymore. I make them out of paper. I don't like the flimsy cupcake liners. These are so easy. And put our bottom piece on. It's a little crooked. Get it over there. And I just, now you can see the difference in those two. All right. So now this one, what I call is the small, you need 7 petals. So from a medium, you can get a small, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can get a small and a medium. So you can get 2 rosettes out of 1 when you're doing that. So now this one I want to cut down even farther. So what I do is go about halfway. So you can see I take off about another, get my measuring tape here, probably about a 1/2 inch. So I take off another 1/2 inch off of there. And like I said, don't worry about like if it's not perfect. I just go around. Like that. And you can see the size of that petal compared to the other petal. Same thing. We are just going to connect ours together. And I always like to see which petal overlaps better. So 13 petals, 9 petals, 7 petals. Okay, we'll let that dry. And I got a tiny one here. Pink. Yeah, let's see. Yep, we'll use the pink one. So, same thing. We're going to just squeeze that all in. And then here I used, which I think this is a 1/2 inch. No, it's a 5/8 inch. And then let me find the pink ones. Good one, pink. I just cut a bunch of colors. Hopes of what I would need. Okay. I'm just going to squeeze that together, make sure it goes together before I grab my glue. Don't burn yourself. I have yet to burn myself, so. Okay, I'm going to hold it back down with one hand. And as I'm pushing, I also kind of push inward my petals. I just squished one petal here, which I'll fix when we bring it up. Okay. I'm going to flip it over. And I just kind of push down the folds there. I push them down flat. Because as you get smaller, these folds are more up to the top here. So then they get a little bit where they stick up. So I kind of just fold them over flat. And then we're going to put that on. We don't care about what the back looks like anyways. And then I give it a good old push down to flatten all those little things. Okay, and now there's our 3 sizes. And how quick and easy was that to make? So here is, this one comes out to about 4 inches. This one comes out to about 3 1/4. And then this one comes out to about 2, wait, get my petal here. Almost 2 1/2. So you can make 3 different sizes. Okay, so let's put that aside. And I already glued this one. All you do, these things are like fun to get apart because look at, they're just one big wad. It's like, oh, they were so stuck in there. So trying to get one separated from here is like, come on. Of course, they wanted me more difficult because I'm on camera. I had one there. They're really stuck in there. Okay. still need to get apart here. Well, I guess I should just pull one apart. Okay, now we got one. So for this one, and I did glue it together, and I'm going to show you how you want to glue it together. Okay, is we're going to cut, same thing. I'm going to cut right between the petals here, right down where the valley. Let's call that the valley. This is the mountain. We're going to cut right through the valley. See that? And then we want to cut that middle piece away also. These are regular liners, so these are thin. These are not like that, not like these ones. These are just the thin paper. Now for these, you want to overlap one petal on top of the other petal and glue that together. So now instead of having, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to have 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and petals. So just overlap it like that and glue it down. Okay. So in this one, I really did not think this was going to work. So the same thing, I'm going to put it upside down like this and then just push it down. And this one goes down like so easy and together, just perfect. I could not believe this one was perfect. So this one I have some, go back the other way. Thank you. Green 3/4. Oh yeah, this was 3/4, not 1 inch. This is 1 inch, 3/4, and then the 5/8. I called that, I think I called this one. Okay, so these are 5/8. So all we're gonna do is just gonna put it down like that. Beautiful. Okay, get some glue on here. Like I said, I don't really bother about doing it in the middle because that'll just go right down to the ground and you don't need that. Okay, so I'm just going to take and put it down. And before I push down too far, I want to make sure I'm centered and I want to make sure it's down right. And push it down now. And that little glue oozed out there. Get that up. Okay. And let's flip it over and do that side. These are like the easiest rosettes I think I've ever done. Cover that up. And that is how that one looks. That is so cute. Now before we decorate, I'll show you how I make my, which I don't make them anymore because they're too hard to make. Okay. I prefer making paper ones. Now, there is many, many different ways that people make these. Some people just cut the center out, and which is what I'm going to do. Some people just cut the center. Well, actually, I had to make this a little smaller. That's right. So I will do it the other way. Some people just cut the center out, and then they kind of squish, pinch. Okay, well, for my dexterity, that kind of, bothers my fingers. Then there's the ones that will take and cut the center out, and then they will run thread, just regular sewing thread, like a, I forgot what the stitch is called, just a regular gathering stitch, through there, and then they'll pull it tight, and that'll make the gather. I don't have time for that business in my life. So what I do is, yes, I do cut it up. And because I'm not going to sit there and pinch, because you have to pinch a couple times. I don't have time for that business. So what I do is, so I cut that out. Then I cut away, I think, let me quick measure, about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Nope, I actually probably cut it about 1 inch away. Then just take like 1 inch off. And then we are going to, this one I don't have prepared, so I'll just have to use my little hot glue and run a little bit down there. Don't go overboard with the hot glue. And then we're just going to hook that together. Get it in there. Okay. Okay, now let me get my little circles. I hope I have some yellow ones. And I only need to use this one, this size. The 5/8. That's a pink one, Jean. Although it doesn't really matter. We're doing it on the bottom part anyways. Now, what I do for a little helper, and I do this when I make my paper ones also. I've done a video on my paper rosettes. Is my scoreboard has a lip on two sides. Okay. So what I do is I let that lip help me out a little bit. So I will push this all down, gather it up the way you like it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Right about there. Let my board do the work. And now I just kind of hold it in place there. And instead of gluing directly on here, because I need 2 hands to do that, I run a little glue just on here. Don't panic about it. Okay, just run a little glue on there. Then put your dot down. And try. I went too far out. And then I kind of push it in and kind of make my pleats and help push it in. Stuff like that. And do that. Get some of that off my hand. So for me, this was the easiest way to make using the cupcake liners. Hey, that one came out pretty good. You know, I get better with old age maybe. But what I don't like about it is they're not very heavy. And then I just kind of fluff some of the little things. But that's how I make my cupcake liners. Now, what do you like better? Let me get this out of the way. And then we'll do some decorating. What do you like better? Do you like this one? Do you like this one? I mean, this one didn't turn out too bad, you know. But that's the best way I have is cut a little bit of it off. And then do it that way. That's the easiest way for me. So, what do we have? We have a bunch. I might make a couple more. I have a bunch made. Oh, here they are. I have a whole bunch made that we're going to decorate. So, we're going to make, let's see, yellow, pink, do a blue, and we're going to make a double layer one. This is the bigger blue, I think, or pink. I think we'll use the little pink. So you can layer these up like I did here. I did a yellow and a blue together. So we're going to put the pink one. And like these are perfect to use for like baby showers or wedding showers or for decoration on, you know, whatever your craft is that you like to use them on. You can add a straw to them. And these are dimensional because they're cupped up a little bit because of the style. So you got some dimension. Let that dry. Okay, let's take that out because we're going to decorate, well, just one of those. We can take this one out. Let's decorate. And let's move this off to the side. Now, let's see. Get this over here. Got so much stuff. I'm thinking, so like pink and blue, if you wanted to go with like a baby theme. I don't have a lot of baby stuff. What did I have? Just sorting everything out here. Don't really want the pink on the pink, so I'd probably put the boy on there. So you could decorate, and that could be for a baby shower, but I got to take the little nip off the back because this is a button. So we're just going to take that off the back. Okay. Now we're just going to put some glue on this back of this one. Pop that on. And then you could use these for decorations. Like you can poke a hole in the top and then run them and hang them. So you got a really cute for like a baby shower. Okay. How about, let's see. Bring all our stuff in here a little bit. This I want to get more of, and I can't find. I got it from Temu or Alley, and it's kind of like a plastic frosted flower. It's really, really cute. That's why I want to get more of those. So let's see. I think I really like it on this one. I think it's really pretty on there. So let's do that. I'm just going to put on some hot glue there. Put that on. Got all these pretty little things here. Let's put this off to the side. Now, these would make really nice Easter ones also. So I found these Easter die cuts. Let's take this chick one off here. Oh my goodness. Take that off of there. And do we want to put it on this one? Kind of looks like a little Easter nest there. Oop, come back here. And it is sticky, but you still want to put some hot glue on there, because you know it doesn't stay very well. So you can use like die cuts you can put on. And let's see. Grab a pink one here. Put this flower on. So we got like silk flowers you can put on. You can decorate these as much or as little as you like, depending on what I'm doing. This is more than enough, I think. Then you got the flower, just a silk flower on there. It just changes the look of all of them. And then I have lots of stuff here. Oh, seashells. I got the blue flower. You can do patches, but I don't have no more. I got this pink left. That's gonna be too big. I got stars. I have, yeah, let's put that on there. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. It is a sticker, but I'm gonna just put some glue down. And then we are gonna bling it up too also. Let's put that on there. And then let's see, what do we want? Oh, why don't we put, a heart in the middle? Bling bling on that one. Or yeah, let's put the heart one in the middle. These I hauled these, I showed them on a video. These came from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna put it on here so that I don't burn my fingers. And this glitter one came from Michael's in there. That get down there. I hauled that. It was a kit that had a bunch of foam pieces in. Oh, actually, I have it right here. So that's where the stills flowers came from. These all came from in there, in these packs. Okay, so that's kind of cute too also. Pink, pink, pink. Okay, these ones aren't done yet. Let's get over here so we can put, let's see, we can put just a star, plastic star on. We have a blue flower. I think blue and yellow work well together. I like the silk flowers. Okay, put that on. Hello Kitty's not gonna really work, but this is just an acrylic flat back. I just grabbed a whole bunch of stuff out of my stash. These are kind of cute, these little shells. Put that on like a little beach theme. All I have left is yellow made up. I didn't make very many pink up, did I? It's because I was going in the yellow pack, I guess. You can even do a yellow on top of a yellow. I have 3 sizes. You can do 3 sizes. You can add 3 together like that and make it very dimensional. I'll glue that together in a second. How about we put this on? Or you got a butterfly. The butterfly. You have some sunglasses. You have this other flower. So there's so many different things. You can just go through your stash and see what you have to decorate. I could sit here all night and do this, but Okay, and then let's go ahead and I'll got one of each size. And I need the baby one. Okay, let's put one of each size together. Put 3 of them together. Now, if I had different colors, I'd use different colors. I'd put at least a different color I have in the middle. I only had like 4 blue because that was in the multi-pack. So I had like 4 blue. And then most of the ones that were left were the yellows. And then I got the 1 pink pack. The pink pack, I think, is the one that came from Target. Oh, but this is telling me we're all done because I'm running out. I got to put another one in. Put one in there quick. See if I can get enough out just to put the topper on here. Hold that for a second. So, look at that. See now how dimensional that is? Let's put on this flower. And then I think I'll put a bling in the middle of that flower. So let's see if I can get enough glue out. Ooh, there we go. And then put that in the middle. That's a fabric flower. And then let's put one of these ones in the middle. They're pretty sticky. They might stick good enough for now. Just to show you guys. And then we have that. So the possibilities are endless. You could go on and on and on and on with that. Still, I think I really like. I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna get some more colors of these because this one was so. I couldn't believe how easy that was to make. And look how pretty that is. It's a completely different design, and so depending on the color you get, you can make for different even holidays too. So I'm gonna look for some more of them because I really like that. But then again, like I said, you can put a straw, hook a straw to them, or you can put a little hole in there and hang them, or you know, anything. You can even like make them plate settings, you know, and stuff like that. You can do a lot of different things with these. Okay, let's bring it down now a little bit so you can see them all there and see my messy desk. All those. So I hope you guys like this and got a little inspiration out of this and how easy it is if you can get your hands on some of these and you know, try these yourself. This is the easiest rosette to make. If you can't find that one, get this one. Just get this one, this design, because that is even easier to make. And I don't know like if this was on clearance at Walmart or not. I can't remember if it was a clearance price or regular price. But if you can get your hands even on this style, you've seen how easy that was to make. I didn't do no magic there. You know, even the regular ones, if you want to struggle a little bit, you see me make one out of the regular cupcake. So, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to do, you know, another video on, you know, these ones or paper ones or whatever, just let me know. I have done one in the past, though. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.